They say when bee comes to your home, let them have beer. Who knows, you may want to visit their house one day. So if you're also interested in knowing a lot more about bees, you have come to the right place. So hello and welcome. This is Himanshi Kaushik, your host of the day, and I would like to welcome you all in today's webinar on beekeeping. And I hope that you all are keeping fine and safe and happy at wherever you're taking this webinar from. So before we know a lot more about bees and their story, we have our expert with us. So I shall take this moment to introduce you to our expert. We have Dr. Krishna Kumari Devi, an assistant professor with us. She is from School of Agriculture, Lovely Professional University. She has graduated from Assam and has done her PhD from Ludhiana. She has given herself a credit to qualify JRF, SRF, and ICAR-NET as well, and has released more than 20 research articles, book articles, chapters, etc. She has been the part of various national and international conferences, seminars, and workshops. She has been awarded as Best Oral Presentation in International Conference in Dubai. She helps many postgraduate students and has her expertise in host plant resistance, chemical ecology, and many more. Ma'am, it is a pleasure for us to be here, and I welcome you in the webinar and looking forward for an amazing session, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Himanshi. A very good afternoon to everyone present here. My name is Dr. Y. Krishna Kumari Devi, and I'm thankfully that and giving me such a chance to talk about this beekeeping and one of the very important species on the entire earth. Let me say that. Yeah. So as we can see that in beekeeping, it is not a way of how we manage a bee or how we rear them. It's a way of how you generate employability, a sustainability to the environment, as well as how you are going to develop your skills for the future generations. So let me go through it a little bit more deeper, what we are going to do in this webinar. So here, I'll be giving a few topics on the beekeeping or apiculture and basic requirements of it, then financial support and opportunity because of the beekeeping and seasonal management. Along with that, how this employability, how it is generations, and also one of the bee product that you can go for it, then bee rearing or queen rearing. This is one of the very employability so far that has been, and one of the financial conditions that can be achieved on here, and also hive on lease. Yes, the last or the very important about is the sustainability, that is the how beekeeping can sustain or keep the environment healthy, and also the conservations program about this. So here a little bit about the first thing, the requirement. So when we talk about the requirement, what are the things for the bee rearing? You can see that in this chart, in the slides, what we call it, this is, yeah, let me take this one. Yeah, this is a honey bee hive. So here you can see in honey bee hive, there are two chambers. One is called the super chamber, another one is called the brood chamber. So super chamber and the brood chamber, what does it do? So we can see that it is having a specific compartment for the bees. So super chamber in the first bottom, or the and the bottom is the brood chamber. So super chamber, let me explain. In the super chamber, we keep the honey, we store the honey, right? And in the brood chamber, we keep all the immature stages of the bees, along with the, let's say, droned male, right? Male bees, then worker bees, as well as the queen bees. And these are some of the equipments that is necessary for the rearing of the bees. This is the smoker, and this is the V-valves. We need to keep ourselves protected from the bee sting. And this is the hive tools. Then this is the overall. So when we go to the beekeeping or the apiculture to manage or hive inspections, we need to protect ourselves from the bee sting. So this is the overall that we have to wear it whenever we go for it. Of course, when we talk about this, then when the time comes a little bit familiar with the bees, then we can also take out or remove some of the part, but eventually these are the necessary things that we need to protect. Then let's come to that, the different species of the bees. There are basically 4 species that so far, Apis species, and 2 of the species from the stingless bee, and 1 very new species that has been discovered recently. So let's talk about the first bee, this bee Apis dorsata. So this Apis dorsata is the ferocious bee, one of the rock bee, it is also known as, and they have want to say that a little bit or more of the non-domesticated, they can be present in the cave or higher elevations, and also various part of the jungles. So the honey that is retrieved from this bee is much more, like around 36 to 40 kg, right? And let's go to that. And the hive that makes it is single comb of these bees. The second one is the Apis cerana indica. So this is also known as the Indian bee, and basically you can see that in this case it has a one of the very what is it, the first thing in India that has started rearing. Of course, the conditions of the beehive for the Indian hive or Indian beehive needs to be a little bit different from the rest of the bees, or rest of the apis, right? And these bees are found mainly in the plain area as well as other things. And the honey is a little bit lower than the Apis dorsata that is found. Then the Apis florii. This Apis florii is a little bit smaller in size, right? And yeah, little bee, it is also known as. The next one is the Apis mellifera. So Apis mellifera is the highest domesticated in India, and more often honey that can be extracted from here. So you can see that this honey has a multiple here in this slides, multiple layers of the beehive that has been they made, right? And most of the Indian beekeeper, they rear this species. And then we have the stingless bee, and the 2 stingless bee or the tambour bee are their Melipona species as well as the Trigona species. They are basically used for the pollinations, more of the pollinations, but only half of the, or 100 kg, 100 gram of the honey can be retrieved from this bee. Very small bees they are. Then, yeah, the newest bee that has been discovered from the Western Guard of biodiversity hotspot in India is the Apis caryngonians. So these Apis caryngonians is a black Indian bee, and it was first discovered in the more than 200 years, and it is now rediscovered in India. So these are the few of the bee species that is reared in India. And you can see the visual observations or the difference of these bees from their abdomen. Yeah, so let's see that how our ELP students has worked on this apiculture. So you can see in the first, the bee hive has been opened up and the hive inspections has been done. And in this hive inspection, several students have taken a keen observations that what are the different conditions of the beehive. So you can see here in the first cases, when we open the hive, we have to take care of ourselves, of course, right? And see that the conditions of the beehive, whether the worker bees are present, whether, let's say, the other things are present, right? Let's say the disease, then the pest, right? And first and foremost is that we have to observe the queen bee cells. So in here, the highlighted portion here, this is a queen bee cells. This is a little bit bigger in size, right? And it is different from the rest of the bees. So let's see that what are the different species of the bees. So from here, you can see there are 3 distinct castes of the bees, the cell differentiation of the 3 castes. The first one is the queen cells. Second one is the drone cells, and the third one is the worker cells. So you see that in here, the queen cells are a little bit bigger in size and it flatten out horizontally, or it lay horizontally. The worker cells have a flat yeah, the cap cells is the flat cells, and you can easily identify and differentiate from the drone cells. So drone cells have a dome shape, like a dome shape, right? So these are the different, you can see here also, the first one is the queen cells, second one is the drone cells, and third one is the worker cells. So you might have a little bit confusions about what is queen cells, what is worker, what is drone, right? So I'll come to that point also. Queen is a female, a fertile female, right? And worker is also female, but they are sterile. And drone is the male honeybees, which are fertile. So coming to the life stages, if you want to rear a bees, then you have to know a little bit about the life stages. So you see that we have life stages of honeybees of 4 stages. We have eggs, we have grub stage, then pupal stage, as well as the adult stage. So they have the 4 stages. These metamorphoses is called complete metamorphosis in Hymenopterans. So bees belongs to the order Hymenopterans, and family is Apidae. So you can see a mother queen lays an egg, a single egg in a single cell. So this is one of the single cell. You can see here in the picture also, right? And the second one is more of the number of eggs are there. So let me explain to this point also. Why more than one eggs are there? Then you can see the third one. In the third one, there are a little bit whitish color liquid is present, right? So when a single cells, a mother queen lay egg, one single cells, right? One in the one single egg, then it will hatch in 3 days. So after hatching, we can see that in 3 days, there will become what? A bat in the royal jelly. This white liquid is called royal jelly, and this royal jelly is also known as bee milk. This is secreted by the worker bees from their hypopharyngeal glands, and it is rich in proteins and various vitamins. So here, after 3 days, so it will be decided which one is going to be the queen, which one is going to be the workers, right? So I'll explain to that a little bit later on. So in this developmental pathway of the queen bees, after 6 days, still they are going to start feeding with this or continue feeding with this royal jelly till they are in larval stages, all the larval stages, right? And after that, in pupa days, or pupal cells will be there and cap will be there. So capping will be started at the later stage of the larval stage, right? And after that, in 18 days, right? From 15 to 18 days, they are going to be in the pupal cells. So they are going to develop, and within 21 days, the adult bees, especially the queen bees, will be emerge out. So this is one of the very important phase of this. So it will take very less time, right? So here, the time taken is different from the queen, then drones, and the worker bees, right? So it will take for 24 days for the worker bees. So here, note, you might have seen why I have told you that there will be one egg in a single cell. But in this picture, you might have seen there are several eggs are there. So if you see this kind of conditions, that means there is no queen is present in this hive. So you have to start taking care of that. So these kind of conditions takes place when the queen is absent, or else you can see that the worker bees started to lay eggs, right? And I have also told you that the worker bees are sterile. But now why I'm saying that the worker bees lay eggs? This is the conditions that when a bee queen is absent or in the accidental death, the worker bees are going to replace for laying eggs, but only for the drone that is going to be. Here it comes that how the sex determinations of the bees are going to take place. So there are 3 castes, let me remind you: drone, a male, queen, a female, and worker is also a female. So first and foremost, the eggs are going to laid by the queen mother, right? And there are 2 types of eggs they are going to lay. The first one is the fertilized egg. Second one is the unfertilized egg. So fertilized egg means what? There are going to be combinations of the male gamete and the female gamete. There will be M26, right? But in case of here, sorry, and 32. So here in case of the unfertilized egg, there will be haploids. So these sex determinations in the honeybees is called the haplodiploidy sex determinations. So you see here, all the unfertilized eggs are going to hatch into drone, right? And all the fertilized eggs are going to be a female. But how we are going to decide it? Which one is going to be the queen? Which one is going to be the worker? So the fact of this, let's say that how a queen is determined, how a worker bees select their potential next queen. So randomly, a group of these worker bees, the nurse bees especially, they are going to select different potential eggs to be a fatted queen in their hive. So 20, right? So from there, they will start rearing from the starting from the larval stage. They will start rearing and feeding with the royal jelly. So yeah, one of the very important thing is that until all the eggs are in 3 days, whether it is drones, a queens, or a worker bees, they are all going to feed with the royal jelly. But later on, after 3 days, so the one that is going to be the fatted queen will continue feeding with the bee milk or the royal jelly. But for the drone as well as for the workers, they are going to replace it with the bee bread, we call it. So bee bread will be the pollen, pre-digested pollen and honey mixture. So this is how the sex determination is there, right? So there are lots of things going on inside the beehive, right? That who to choose the next potential queen, right? So when we know that, a frame, let's talk about the frame. So make a profit from this. So you see here in this frame, you can see a cap honey, or we call it sealed honey. The next one is the unsealed or unsealed honey, then capped brood, pollen cells, then capped drone brood, right? So what does it mean? It means that there is something that you can make profit out of this small frame. You see here from the cap honey, what does it mean for the cap honey? When you see that there are something, a food, if you cook a food and if it is all done, then you seal it, you pack it, right, for the future use. The same thing happens here also. You see, a honey which is unripe, right, or it is not yet mature, it is unsealed. There is no covering of it. So when a honey is mature or ripened, then they are going to start capping it. That means covering it for the future use. So what are we going to do? How we are going to make a profit of it? We are going to extract it. So here in this slides, we are going to see that how the extraction is done, how honeybees make their honeycombs and how it is the process of the extractions. The first thing, this is the hive knife, right, or unclipping knife. So we are going to unclip this honey or the seal knife, right, and put it inside this extractor or honey extractor. They have two types of honey extractor. One is mechanical and one is manual. So we are going to steer it, right, until all the honey start dripping off, and later on all these honeys are going to start filtering and you will get the pure honey. So these are the students of the ELP, right, and you can see here the bottles. This is the previous year, right, previous year extractions from our LPU apiculture. Along with that, traditionals, we have a new technique of the honey extractions. So these are the several honey extractions. This is long straw hive, and this is honey flow beehive. That is a modern technique of honey flow methods that can be used. There are a little bit of the different conditions, and if you have more of the interesting, then the link is given below here. I can share it to you later on for how to assemble it and how to use or reuse of this frame later on. But what we are going to do all about this, we cannot keep that beehive as such. We have to manage them in order to increase our productions, in order to see all of these, right? In India, we have several seasons. So we have these winter seasons, we have spring, we have summer seasons, which is coincide with the rainy season, then comes the autumn season, right? So what are the different things that we are going to do in order to manage them? So we have to know a little bit of our geographical area, right? Let's say we are here in Jalandhar in Punjab, and we have to know the conditions of this area as well as the flora, the local flora, right, which is present. So this local flora will include the bee flora. So seasonal bee flora, then the perennial, right, bushes, and many more are there. So why I'm saying this? What is the conditions? We have to know that from where the honey is extracted, from where the honey is being taken out, the bee required the flowers. So the flowers contains nectar, right? So each and everything, we have seen that honeybee are going to have these pollinations. In that pollinations, they are going to start taking out the pollens along with the honey or the nectar, right? So you see, these are the certain flowers I have been given here. The first one is the eucalyptus. I think everyone knows about it. And the most famous one is this mustard flowers, right? And few of the flowering trees that has been present out here. So you see that what are we going to do about all these flowers if it is absent at that time? So this is a chart. The preparations of this nectarine calendar that you can easily find out in which month of the year, what are the flowers, what are the trees that are going to flower. So in India, we have 2 honey flow seasons, right? So the first one will be in the spring seasons. The second one will be in case of this autumn seasons, right? So in between that, the summer, deep summer seasons, then deep winter seasons, what we shall do. At this time, we will be find out what are the different flowering trees or the flowers that can be grown into that. So chief nectar flowers, right, or nectarine flowers, then chief pollen flower or pollen giving flowers, or both are needed to be grown nearby the area where the beekeeping is present. Okay, so let's find out that the other management. So that comes our, the bees are going to take out nectar as well as pollen from the flowers. But other than that, when it comes to the management, there is also a certain things that we have to take care of the bees. The first and foremost is the bee health. We have to manage their health also, right? When we take care of our pets, right, go to the vaccinations every now and then. So why not for the bees? So USDA approved the first vaccines for the honeybees for the American fall fruit disease, right? This is a bacterial disease and it spread widely, right? Once it is started, right, then no beehive can be conserved from them. So we have to take care of these every now and then and feed the nurse bee with these vaccines. Right. So in this picture, you can see this is the stress test for the American fall fruit disease, right? That needs to be confirmed whether the hive is present or the infected with this American fall fruit disease. So fall fruit, you see that fall means the stinky, right? Stinkness, the putrid smells will be there. Brood means the young stage. So these diseases are going to attack mainly on the young stage, the larval stage, a little bit of the younger larval stage, right? From the starting from the 3 days onwards to 5 days onwards. So this American fall fruit disease is present all over the world, except for the India, fortunately, right? So you can see these are the several areas where this very contagious disease is present. Then next comes several other diseases are also there with the bacteria. American fall fruit disease is the bacteria, then viruses we have, then the fungus disease, and many more. Then here comes the pest. When it comes to the pest, India is not very fortunate because this greater wax moth is one of the pests that is present in India too, Galleria melonella. So Galleria manuela is one of the very pros and cons have this. For this bee, it is a pest. For other, they have a different type of, let's say, good thing about this Galleria. There's several researches going on this Galleria, right? So globally, this insect is distributed all around the world, including India, right? What are they? What is this insect? This is a moth, a Lepidopteran pest. So here it is how you can easily identify, right? This is the egg stage. Then here comes the larval stage. Then this is the pupal stage, and this is the adult stage. So what they are going to feed? Why it is important to manage it? They are going to feed on the wax, the stored wax, right? So all throughout the year, except for the July to October and November to December, they are going to be there or present with the breeding. If unintended, right, that you are going to keep all of these hive, right, from, or also the wax that is extracted, newly extracted hive or stored in that particular area. So the infected stage will be the larval stage. They are going to start feeding on the wax, right, or the stored wax, right? In the hive also, there are several conditions of the management. I'll come to that point also. So here, the thing is that how to identify it. First and foremost, the very conditions of this larval or any kind of Lepidopteran insect is that they are going to start stretching out this webbing, the first thing, right? Second thing is that you will see, or you will be able to see small feeding, right? Excretas and frases will be there. And if they start to continue feeding, then complete their life cycles, then there will be pupa, as well as you will be able to see the moth, right? So what will be the management? Other pests are also there, like we have this wasps, right? Several wasps are there. We'll come to that point. So how we are going to do, how we are going to manage this? So with colonies, right? So here I listed some of the management, but let me tell you that for particular reasons, why beehive have very good intentions of keeping their hive in a hygienic conditions. So bees are very good in keeping their home, their hive clean. Cleanliness is there in DNA, right? Hygienic condition is in their DNA, so that they can keep, or they can keep their honey in a very good conditions, their brood in their good conditions. Once they spotted any kind of foreign particles, or let's say foreign insect, a pest, especially this, or diseased insect, right? Then they will thrown out from their hive, right? So thing is that there needs to be a strong colony. A weak colony will not be able to sustain this type of pressure, this type of attack from the pest. So we have to keep the colony in a strong colony. Making a weak colony, or making two weak colony a bigger and strong colony. So more than 80,000 individuals of the worker bees should be there to keep a strong colony. Okay, so here, very importantly, if the colony is weak, then you have to make them strong colony. Unite the colonies are there. There are several procedures of uniting two colonies, right? We have newspaper method or smoke methods. So regular cleaning, hive inspections, when you do it, you have to see that all those conditions, right? Yeah. Then next thing is, if you have seen that the bees are not able to, then you have to intervene, burn it out, and yeah, discard all those trees which present or which might be present the eggs. Then in case of storage, that one was in the hive conditions. In the storage, you have to see that all of the storage conditions needs to be airtight, right? And using all those mods, and yeah, cleanliness should be there. First and foremost things, when or before the storage, you have to keep every conditions, like fumigate it, right? Cracks and crevices should be ventilated, should be there, right? And it should be in a low temperature from 0 to 10 degrees Celsius for 5 hours straight, right? So that the wax moths can be destroyed eventually at a low temperature. They require a little bit higher temperature for their growth. So these are the conditions inside the hive or the storage. Along with that, sometimes to avoid it, we usually use these naphthalene boards inside our cupboards, right, for in order to repel it from the cloth moths. But naphthalenes or ethylene dibromides is one of the very least things that is recommended, because their fumigations will leave a residue in the honey, and that needs to be avoided. So what is the management that is come up? EPN. So what is EPN? EPN is the entomopathogenic nematodes. So for the Galleria, we have these nematodes, right, that can be used for the management of this insect. Okay, so this is how the EPN will kill a specific wax moth when they start penetrating. Then inside the host of the insect, that is a wax moth, they will start to grow it along with the bacteria will be there, asymbiotic bacteria. Then they will increase the toxic levels inside the host, that is the wax moth larva. And after that, you can see that there will be a septicemia and death of the cells will be started. From that conditions, the outer visible symptoms will be the lethargic, then the non-feeding, and eventually the host, that is the wax moth, are going to start dying. So these are the things that we can do for the infections of the EPN and the death of the wax moth. So here, another cases will be that variously the secretions of these secretions products, EPS, will be there. And one of the very important is the Stenonema carpocapsae is one of the EPS that is used or that is being used for the management of the wax moth. Okay, so here in one of our students have been started to start research on the Galleria melonella, on the bioefficacy of different botanicals to control the greater wax moth, and in the collaborations with NIFAM in Hyderabad. So she has started to produce the biopesticide formulations, different biopesticide formulations, and see that which formulations has a very potent to kill this wax moth, both in the hive as well as in the storage. Then other pests like wasps and hornets, very common, right? But they comes in group and will kill the insect, right? The honeybees inside it, they will start to, let's say, to rob, right? To rob the unprotected eggs, unprotected larva, unprotected pupa also. Okay, so for that conditions, what we can do for their management, the management would be the trapping. So trapping system can be done using the heptalbutyric as well as the chicken extract, right? So these are the traps that is being extracted or being trapped, right, for this wasps and hornet. And it is being said that lots of bees, right, are being protected from this wasps and hornets, because the wasps and hornets, they comes in groups, right? And if the colonies is weak, once again, if the colonies is weak, then they are not able to protect themselves from this hornet attack, and the bees can be abscond from this area. Okay, so here comes the artificial feeding. So artificial feeding, it doesn't mean that we are going to go for less of the natural diet or like that. But here, these are all going to be a substitute food when or at the time when the natural nectar or the flowers is not present in the field. So what are the things in the deep summer seasons as well as in the deep winter season? These are the things that we can do. Along with that, in the rainy season also. So we have here a sugar syrup, sugar candy, as well as the pollen substitutes that can be used as a artificial feeding. So let's see that one of the very important about preparations of the sugar syrup. You see that sugar, the white sugar, not the jaggery and all, avoid using the jaggery. It will create a diarrhea or a dysentery for the insect, for the bees. So we have this water, right, and sugar. It will be started mixing to 2 to 5 minutes in the medium heat and cool it down, right, and keep it for the feeder along with the feeder. So other than that, we can add also for the preparations of candy. That the previous one was the sugar syrup. And for the candy, you can add the vinegar. Along with that, we have a thick consistency will be present, and you can mold it and solidify it. So these will provide and keep it inside the hive at the time when the weather condition is not very favorable for the honeybees. So it can be kept inside the feeder also. So wet materials is a sugar syrup, and dry materials will be the soya flour, and other than that, the compositions can be increased with that. So along with that, here, one of the very important thing sorry. So beekeepers need to know that what are the different products that can be found inside a beehive, or what are the things that you can see from a beehive. So we have this honey that we have already known. The next one is the bee pollen, right? Then royal jelly, then propolis, bee venom, as well as the most important, the bee wax. So honey is the main product. I hope everyone knows about this one, honey. When we say that, or when we ask that, what are the things that can be get from the honey or beekeeping? Honey is the main source. Are there also there? Let's see one by one, what are their importance? And so here it comes the employability. So the financial can be increased with this, right? So for here, you can see that has a very, very different types of important sources, right? From the bees or bee product, and what are their different type of advantages. We have antivirals, anti-cancer, antibacterials, and antiparasitics are there. So let's see one by one. You see that what are the benefits of the bee venom, right? We have therapeutic conditions are there, from the arthritis, right? Them to be treated with the fibromyalgia, right? So these skin cancer, skincare industry can be used, right? In that conditions for the skincare, cosmetic, beautifications of the skin, right? And memory boost, provides all sort of nutrients and other things. So here, very importantly, other than that, what are the things you can do for the collections of the bee venom? So here is the procedure. This is a little bit of the electrical filaments that you require, a little bit shock, not enough to kill the honeybees, but a little shock is there. Then from there, when a bee will not bite you until and unless, or sting you until and unless they have been an alert is there, a threatening is there. So when electrical shock is given, right, at the time, the bees will start to inject or produce their stinger, right? And from there, you can start collecting from the glass collector, the bee venom. So this is what the industries can be do for the collections of the bee venom. So this is one of the things that you can do it. And propolis is not something that the bees will be producing. Propolis is the collections from the plant, right? And from this propolis, different types of propolis are there, right? And it will be different from the different plant sources. And these propolis have different benefits. The first and foremost will be the anti-inflammatory, in few names that I can go for it. Anti-allergic, right? So many benefits are there by using this propolis. So propolis, you can get it from the bee frame. So you have to regularly remove this propolis from the beehive. Then here is the a chart, right, where the these pollens can be collected. So pollen powders or the pollens can be collected from the different sources of the flowers, and it has a different taste from the different flowers as well, along with the hive bees also. When they have started collecting the flowers from one single flower species, they have a different taste, right? And some of the very important flavor comes from the flower also. Okay, so a very important thing, this is a pollen collector. So when a bee, you see that when a bee went for a foraging and collected the bee nectar along with the this pollen in their legs. So the bee hive, in the entrance of the bee hive, you have to keep this pollen collector, right? When they go inside it, all of this, you see here in this slide, when bee goes inside this pollen collector, right, through this pollen collector inside the beehive, all of the pollen will start to fall down in the pollen collector. That's how you can easily collect this pollen and use it in different parts of the therapeutic industries. Here, a very important next one, it can give you a very returns, good returns of the financials. This is the breeder, right, for the breeding of the queen. So queen breeding is one of the very important and also one of the very what is say, good income fetching, right? So here we have seen that the bees will be, or the queen bees will get developmental stage of the 21 days, right? 16 days, in short, in 16 days, 21 days for the worker and 24 days for this drone bees. So queen days, in 16 days, you will get queen bees, right? So queen bees, when you see that the queen cells, you can easily go for a mating. This is the queen cap, right? So we have to go for a collections of this bee milk or the royal jelly and started feeding on them. This is how the breeding of the queen cells is there. So queen started to lay eggs, right? And after that, you can easily start collecting, right? And keep it inside this queen cells, right? Or queen cap, we call it. So this is one of the very important employability for the queen rearing. So here you have to see that the queen mother inside the colony and search for it. The second thing is that when you see that the larva is being fed with the royal jelly, right, in different stages until they have 12 to 24 hours, you can start selecting the potential, right, based on their, let's say, morphological characters. Small larva, we are not going to tag that. A little bit bigger in size, stoutness, we are going to select it. A healthy one also, right? So these are some of the 12 to 24 hours old. You see here, a little bit smaller in size, and started combing. So this is the grafting of the queen cells, right? So from the grafting to a little grafting method, it is called, right? So from there you can get a new queen, and the queen can be sold if some of the new beekeeper, right, if they want to start a new apiculture, right, as their hobbies, as their, let's say, anything, right, then you can sell it eventually. So let's come to the sustainable development point, right? So we have this sustainable development of the clean environment, right, as well as good food, right? Then we have financial conditions and the climate actions and so on. One of the things about this is that where these bees are placed here. So we have these bees are going to place in the good health, good affordable clean energy as well, right? Then sustainable resources, then we have the food sources, climate actions, and so on, right, in this sustainability. So what are the things and what we can do in order to improve the conditions, the health, as well as the populations of the bees? So in this graph, you can see here that species of different insect species, families, as well as the order have been started to decline. And why it is decline? You see, few of the species has been extinct also, and declining less than more than 30% in the vulnerable stages and endangered. So bees, right, is one of the endangered species, right? Some of the species are not found. You see that I have told you one of the bee species that is being rediscovered in India, the black Indian bee, right? So you see why it is being stopped. producing, why it is not found anywhere in around the world. Very few conditions I can say that the climate change, the all other things, right? What we can do for the conservations of the bees. So there are so many things, right? You and I in the small step every day, day-to-day life, we can do all those things. So extremely increase in population changes are being here. You see in India, severe decrease are there. You see in the violet or purple color, right? And few of them are being in the verge of extinctions. So bees, you see that bees, they are doing so much things for our, and as well as for our world, right? For the environment. So don't they deserve to get a new, let's say, protections for them? Why it is being endangered? First, we have to know. So along with that, other things, you see, one of the very important is that the use of the different pesticides, that it is not being, let's say, screen out what type of flowers you're growing, what type of crops you're growing, right? So we have to see that whether the bees, the wild bees are present in the vicinity of our farm, right? So many things. So let's take an example here. In these slides, you see that honeybees taking the pesticide via the pollen. So when we spray the insecticides in the flowers, the bees, let's say, unprotected area, right? The bees will come and the pollens, which is already have the residue of the insecticides, are going to keep it along with them and bring it to their home. That is the hive. So it will be contaminated inside it, right? Inside the hive. So if they started falling it, right, and pesticide will, the food, this is their source of food, the pollen. So this residue, insecticide residue having this pollen, they are started to feeding them, their health will start to deteriorate, and eventually the death of the insect will be there. So that's why we have this several conditions of the colony collapse disorder. One of the very, very important diseases are there, right? So here, for the systemic insecticides, what we can do is that systemic insecticide is one of the things that can protect or target species of the insect can be move out, or limited number of insect can be controlled over it with the help of the systemic pesticides. So here, this is also one of the chart. You can see the pollens and nectar, they are going to start collecting, right? And when we spray it, any kind of acaricides, then dust, right? And we have this other pesticides, spray conditions. So different routes of the pesticide exposure are there for the bees. So we have to limit such kind of things. And this is very important, right? So this small step, right, that you can do and I can do to control, right, to, let's say, to reduce the bee death. You see that paper cup, when we drink the juice, when we drink the tea, a cup of tea, right? With the friends in the morning or in the evening, the juice that we drink, we left behind a little bit, a little amount, right? And we just throw it out inside the dustbin, but unknowingly these bees are going to attract it because they have the sugar in it, and sugar are one of the source of their food, right? So we might have seen that some of the bees are going to drown in it, right? Drowning. So every day, every single day, these are the things that is one of the silent killer of Indian bees inside it. So what we can do with that, you can go for it during the day, of course, enjoy the sip of tea, fold this paper cup, right? Fold it. After folding it, you can throw it in a definite place, that is the dustbin, right? Not to throw out here and there, of course, right? For the sake of the environment as well as for the bees, right? Fold it up, right? And after that, you will do a tremendous job. So other than that, we have this different things that is being seen: the pesticides, the dirty water, right? Diseases. Okay, one of the thing, the cell phone tower, that is a little bit controversy, but still one of the major issue about this one also. right? And here you can see different sources, the natural product, the development of the bee immunity, water sources, clean water sources. So these are the things that are required, not the one that on the left side, right? So we have to see that what is the good for them. And ultimately, we have initiated a few of the program um, in the university in LPU. This is Mr. Abhishek under the supervision of Dr. Ankush Roth. And here you see that different pollen, different bees are going to come inside it with the bee floras. So here in Department of Entomology, we have also celebrate World Bee Days. It started in 2021, and you see that this is an extensions program. And in the coming days also, we have going to start it. This is in the 2022, the World Bee Day that have been celebrated. And here again, an upcoming event will be there, and I hope that I'll invite all of you to join on the celebrations of World Bee Day on 20th May in the block 57. So with this, I'm going to wind up my presentations and this webinar. Carry forward our treasure to our child with the good intentions, and thank you so much. If you have any queries, please let me know.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for this valuable presentation. And it has been really, really grateful. Like it has been really valuable for us in terms of the knowledge as well. So thank you so much for crediting your time. Yes, ma'am, we do have certain queries. So with your permission, can we take up?
Yes, please.
Okay. Ma'am, there's one query from an attendee. Is there any specific direction beehives should be formed?
Yes. We see that when we talk about the different season, that comes under the seasonal management, right? In the winter seasons, right, sometimes we are going to face it towards a little bit of the eastern side, so that the sun rays are going to come inside the hive, because the hive temperature should be around 33 degrees Celsius, right? But in case of the summer season, it should be tilted, right, in towards the northwest, so that direct sunlight should not be entered, right, as well as the direct, let's say, the wind flow should not be inside the hive also. So this is the conditions that you have to manage during the winter season as well as in the summer season.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am, for resolving the queries for our attendee. And then, ma'am, there's last query, but not the least, of course. Are there any specifications in LPU for beekeeping? Like a student, like basically this attendee maybe wants to know, is there any specific plant that we've planted for bees, especially, since we're talking about bees only. So is there any specifications that we've done in LPU for bees as such?
Yes. We are having a unit of the beekeeping, right, in the ELP students. For the ELP we have. So every semester, I think for the 4th year, there is a ELP unit for the beekeeping. 30 students are being practice and skill development is there. So if you like that, we can show it to you. Yeah, for the further clarifications and clarifications as well.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Your explanation, I believe, made all the queries of the students resolved. And thank you so much. And your explanation in terms of the presentation is really also appreciated because, it took almost 40-45 minutes for us to understand a great vast topic on bees and the keeping. And I hope that like me, I have enjoyed the session thoroughly. I hope that students and attendees also have enjoyed the session as well. So, ma'am, we've been getting a lot of questions regarding admission processes as well. Okay. Okay, ma'am, there's another question in terms of bees. We have from Kumari Ankita. Can we practice beekeeping in any part of India or only in specific places?
No, you can do it in every part of India. Especially you have to know a little bit about your geographical area, right? That I have said that, is it in the plain area? Is it in the high elevations area? Right, because in the plain area, a little bit of the Indian bees are suitable, right? Not in the above. So mellifera is one of the bee species that is extensively cultured or reared. right? So any place is a wonderful area, provided that you have to be a little bit manipulations or modifications should be done according to the favorable conditions of the bees.
Okay, I hope students, all your queries have been resolved till now. And ma'am, because we were getting a lot of admission process queries as well, like
Yes,
they can take admissions. So, with your permission, can I, guide them through the admission, ma'am?
yes,
Okay.
sure.
Okay, for all the students who have been okay, yeah, who have been asking a lot about the admissions and how they can take admission in the favorite course. So I'll just guide you in brief how they can take admission. Okay, for this, you simply have to go to this lpu.in. So once you click on this lpu.in, this will be the interface that will be coming to you. Now there are certain you can see all the notifications, all the highlights of the university that is happening or that will be happening related to the university. Now there will be because we're catering only admission processes, right? So you just click on this admission, and there is a whole segregated part of all the programs that we offer in LPU. You can see after 12th, after graduation, post graduation, doctoral, 10th, etc. So let's say we're taking an example of you have completed 12th class and you want to take a program, a regular program, right? You just simply click on after 12th and a regular program. So once you click on this regular program, there will be a whole lot of disciplines that we provide in LPU will be visible to you on your site. You can see that engineering, management, law, fine arts, everything is visible. Since we have been listening and learning more about bees and beekeeping, for this past 1 year, 1 hour. So let's go to agriculture now. So once we click on agriculture, we can see that all the programs that we offer under agriculture visible to you. So we do offer BSc honors in agriculture under after 12th undergraduate program. So you can simply just click on this program. And once you click on this program, these are the details you can find of the program. You can see program details. You can find eligibility in your program detail. And after that, you can see the eligibility here. And after that, in highlights, you can actually check out what all the rankings, what all patents, what all research awards we've been getting, and what all students have achieved till now. And after that, we have a curriculum. In a curriculum, basically, you will be provided all the years of the course, and what all topics will be taught, and when they will be taught is already mentioned in here. And after that, the most important part is the fee structure. You can see that this is the fee structure. You can see here, this is the normal fee, that is 1,20,000 per semester. But again, this is not the fee that we pay regularly, because our students do get a lot of scholarships. So you can see there are multiple scholarships in here, and we do have all the categories based on them. It is category 1, 2, or 3, and you can check out all the scholarships here. If you fall in category 1, you will be getting 38% of the program fee. That is 38% of the scholarship on your program fee, and your fee will be reduced to 74,400. Same for category 2 and 3. You can just check it out here. Let's say you were not able to get any of the scholarship from here. Don't be sad. We have other scholarships as well. You can just check out all the scholarships here based on JEE, mains, and NEET. And after that, we have other scholarships as well, and financial aids as well too. So now we have something very important to know, is the important date of how and when, till when you can apply for your course. And you can see that last date of submission, last date of examination, 3 days before the conduct of the exam. So I think you will be having less and little time now to apply for the test. So please start applying for the test, because last date of admission is 15th May only. After that, you might not be able to get your favorite course. So I would urge you to start applying for the course. And how you can apply? You can just simply go to apply now option. And after that, you will be seeing, like, you will be basically asked some bare minimum requirements like your name, gender, state, address, and mobile number. And after that, you submit. And once you submit, you will be given your dashboard, and from there you can directly apply. Now let's say you have certain queries, and After that, I hope I have made every query clear of you, how you can take admission. Now let's say you still have certain queries. So for this, you can simply either call us, either WhatsApp us, either have a live video counseling session, or you can visit our campus as well. Now for students who cannot visit our campus, you can have 360-degree views on your desktop or on your device only. You just click on this and you will be given a whole lot of experience how our campus looks like virtually in your device. So last but not the least are the numbers. I can show you. You just have to scroll down the site till the end, and after that these are the numbers. You can either take a screenshot of it or maybe write it down somewhere. These are the numbers. You can just call us. We will be there to provide our assistance to you. Our esteemed counselors as well will be there to provide their assistance to you. So I hope I have made everybody's query clear about how they can proceed with the admissions. And last, okay, so with this, ma'am, with this, I take permission from all the attendees and you as well to wrap the webinar up. So can I do this, ma'am? Okay, thank you.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So thank you so much to all the attendees, and thank you so much, ma'am, for joining in the webinar and providing your whole lot of experience, your valuable knowledge and insightful presentation that you've given to us. And to all the attendees, you have been a valuable audience to us as well. So thank you so much for joining in. And until next time, stay safe and stay healthy, and visit our website, lpu.in. So until next time, thank you so much for joining in, and meet you soon in the next webinar.